Good evening, Kyle. Good evening, good evening, good evening. And
Good
good evening,
evening, Benny.
Mrs. Meth as well.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, we have started.
Yes, I can see that.
Yes.
Just want to tell Kyle I'm sorry I don't have any much energy, but the beach and then the bacon smoking and now making my own chicken nuggets, I'm exhausted.
Bitch, bacon, exhausted.
Beach.
Bye.
It's beach.
It's beach,
Pronounce
beach.
it properly, please.
Uh-huh.
You've heard her.
Well, you could tell
All
her
right,
no worries.
What a great,
Absolutely no
what a
worries.
great start. Yeah, what a great start to the podcast. Beach,
Bacon.
beach, bacon, nuggets. I'm exhausted. Bye. Sort of. That was a great start for a podcast that does not have name. Good evening, Kyle. Good evening, everybody over there that you're watching. Hopefully you're enjoying yourself so far. We are here today to discuss Big Trouble in Little China, to a podcast that still does not have any name. I have not yet come up with a snazzy name. Although I was working on, I'm going to show it to you on screen. I was working on some sort of an animation that not an animation, but a nice little logo just for the show. So we'll have a nice little thumbnail. But sadly, it did not work, and now I can't find my gallery. So yesterday I took a selfie before I shaved, of course, and it came up with this.
Oh, I gotcha.
That's pretty good. Now it's a little smudged there. It's a little smudged over there. That's why I told you take a picture with a blank wall behind you, so there'll be no smudging, especially because we have glasses and everything. It's mostly smudged on the glasses. Mm-hmm. So it looks cool, but that's actually the freebie from a free app.
Gotcha.
So that app has now been deleted. And yeah. So I was gonna have like a little logo for us, but whatever. It's gonna be when it's time for it. It's gonna be good. Okay, Big Trouble in Little China, a 1986 movie. Yes, 1986 movie by John Carpenter, starring Kurt Russell and Kim Cattrall and a Heineken beer. All right. No, it's not starring in Heineken beer. Not promoting anything. All right. So starring Kim Cattrall, Kurt Russell, and a few Chinese actors. The name of the actor who plays Lo Pan, who plays in everything that you need Chinese for, is Richard something.
No, his name
forgot.
James Hong.
James Hong. That's it. James.
And
He's got like the most English name, James, and then the most Chinese name, Hong.
He's so amazing in this movie too. We're gonna gush over how great Lo Pan is as a villain.
And it starts off kind of weird because you see Egg Shen at a lawyer's place. I'm gonna bring it up soon, but you see Egg Shen at his lawyer. And his lawyer is talking about stuff that happened, and they're basically looking for Jack Burton. And Egg Shen is like, "Don't you leave Jack Burton alone." Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
There we go. It's like, you leave Jack Burton alone. Why do you want him? It's like, there's been trouble, blah blah blah. And it's like, what do you have to say for yourself? It's a little bit of magic.
So you're telling me that I should believe in magic and sorcery, and then he shows them a little bit with his hands.
This part. No, I can't really have it, but yeah, he shows them, and he's got a little bit of lightning, but it's really hard to pinpoint the. So that's how it starts. Before everything, it's like you've got the 20th Century Fox logo, and then it actually starts. So from there, we've got Jack on the old CBA radio,
Driving
right?
what? The Pork Chop Express.
The Pork Chop Express. Yeah, the Pork Chop Express, which is a hilarious, and I do mean hilarious, way to name your.
I would say that
rig.
I would say the rig wouldn't be popular in Israel, really.
No, the rig would not be popular in Israel. But he spits out this. It's like he's we don't get a lot, but he does talk about like his ex-wife and how he deals with this and deals with that. So it's a 2-bit like wise. It's sort of like wisecracks, but it's also like sage advice from a war-torn, haggard driver of the driver of the night.
Say this is his first line when he says, you have to listen to what old Jack Burton has to say. You see in the 8-foot monster that's facing you.
Yeah, something like that.
And at the end he goes, well, yeah. Have you paid your dues? Yeah, I paid my dues. The check's in the mail.
It's like what you expect from a 40-something-year-old haggard divorcee or something like that.
Yeah, that
has been through the ringer with all them women and all that stuff. That's how he plays out. But that's how we start. And he drives to San Francisco and he meets up with his friend Wang, which is a hilarious name. And they play a little game. Now, what do they play? What the frick is this game?
Well, at first I thought they were trying to do some kind of version of Mahjong, but at the end it looks like they're just playing dominoes. Because that's what it looks like. Because they were doing evens and odds, but then at the end, in the next, like in the morning after they have that last little cutoff scene, he's clearly playing dominoes. So I'm not sure if that it's a particular Chinese version of dominoes or not, but at the end they're playing dominoes.
Yeah, but you can't really tell. And it's so funny because what happens is like at a certain point, it's the end of the evening, it's the end of the night, it's morning, it's time to pay up. And Wang goes, not double or nothing or double.
Nothing or double.
It's like the most. It's like clearly you're not a born American, right? So he goes like a nothing or a double, and Jack's like, "Dude, you're gonna lose. I'm on a streak here. You're gonna lose." And of course he loses, and Wang
the bet was for him to cut the bottle in half with a cleaver.
Yeah, and he didn't, and he didn't do it.
Yeah.
And Jack's like, "All right, pay up." It's like Wang is like, I'm a poor immigrant." It's like, dude, you have a restaurant. You own a restaurant. You clearly have enough money. Pay up. He says, "Well, I need to go. I need to find my girl is coming. I need to go to the airport." And Jack's like, "You know what? I'll drive you there. I'm cutting a few corners, but yeah, I'll drive you there. Yeah. I'll make sure you get the girl, but you pay me once we reach your restaurant." And he explains that he met her when they were kids and he hasn't seen her in 5 years. And they basically go to, the airport, and there where everything actually starts.
I love this because when Kurt Russell's character, Jack Burton, bumps into Kim Cattrall's character, they have this. He tries hitting on her, right?
Yeah.
These guys.
Hold on. Keep going.
Then the gangsters bump into her, and he has. I've had enough of this. He goes, "Oh no, you have to look out. They're members of the Lords of Death." And then I had to stop for a second because I cut my hand open. The edge was that sharp on that name. The Lords of Death.
Like this?
Yes.
Yeah, it's so very, very edgy. Very edgy. But yeah, he bumps into her like, Can I ask you a serious question? She's like, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Why? Because downwind from here, it's Miller time.
Well, not really, but yeah.
For you, it's time to get time. But
Yeah, I got a little sip there. But yeah, it's sort of but he doesn't give up. She's like, oh, you said no? Let me just try a second line and a third line and a fourth line, as if she would have given up at this point. Now, I want to stop just for a second before we talk about her name, which is absolutely good. They nailed the casting with this one, because Kim Cattrall, when she was young, I don't know how her face hasn't changed a lot. I don't think she did a lot of plastic surgery, if ever. But if she did, she didn't do a lot. I looked at a recent picture of her, because she gotten a little bit old and had the eye wrinkles that we get old. A lot of eye wrinkles. Yeah, so crow's feet and a lot of this here and here. It didn't really change her face, but it kind of diminished the young features. And why am I talking about the casting? She has a very, very close face to a Chinese person who is on the border. So you could have said, well, maybe her dad or her mom is Chinese. Not really. She's not really Chinese. But because of the way her eyes look, she can fake like a quasi Chinese person, and that kind of fits the end of the end of the story. Yeah, but if you can tell, it's hard for me to pinpoint. Yeah, there we go. Miao Ying, which is Wang's girl. Her features are not super Chinese. So I'm talking about the eyes.
Yeah,
basically the eyes.
Well, no, even her facial structure is more Anglo-Saxon than it is Chinese.
So I would say the actress who portrayed this, I think her name is Susie something.
Susie Pie, I believe her name
something
was.
Like that. And she could have a cross, like a biracial parent. It doesn't really matter, but her face isn't super Chinese. Now, why am I asking and why am I saying that? Because Gracie Law is not here for her. Gracie Law is here for this girl.
Yes.
Who looks very Chinese, by the way. She looks very Chinese.
What's really funny, too, is that you mentioned Kim Cattrall in that role. The studio didn't actually want to hire Kim Cattrall in the role. John Carpenter fought to get her in the role, because Kim Cattrall had been known for being in movies like Porky's and Police Academy.
Yes.
So she was seen as a very comedic actress, and who like, this obviously is not a very serious role. And it's hard. It is a comedy. It's an action comedy, but it's more action based, and she's supposed to be the one who is the real driving force behind any of. She's the real mental, the real genius behind the real planning on it. Because when it comes to her and Jack Burton, he's obviously the brawn with no brains. Yeah, she's the one with the brains. But no, Carpenter had to actually fight to get her in that role.
All right. So we get our first action bit where the death squad or whatever, the death clan,
the Lords of Death.
Sorry. The Lords of Death kidnap Miao Ying, and we found out later that they kidnap her for a brothel, sort of like Taken. Basically, so they're the hired guns, and of course Jack and Wang kind of chase them off. We'll get that.
And oddly enough, we find out later that was really a mistake too. That wasn't actually supposed to happen. They were just picking up whatever girl that came from China to bring to that brothel. That was their whole mission.
Yeah. I love this part where they try to run over Wang and Burton, and kind of Jack like pulls him away. Yeah, it's like when they're down on the floor, it's like, it's all in the reflex, boy.
Yep.
And
Which-
it's like it's his catchphrase. And do you know where some movies do like catchphrases that stick, and they stick to not only the character, they stick to the person. So Stallone had a few, Bruce Willis had a few, Arnold had a few. For Kurt Russell, didn't really stick. I don't think in any other movie he actually used that, including Tango and Cash, by the way.
No.
Which is weird. Maybe it was forced. There's a few lines like no horseshit, Jack. That didn't catch on.
No horseshit. Yeah.
Yeah, no horseshit. That really didn't stick. But they take her, and they go after him with the truck, and they go into Little China, and they come across a funeral procession.
Yes.
So they've got those are the Wing Changs, right? Now I've the names. There are the Hong Kongs and the Wing Changs. Oh, please. I beg of you. I'm sorry. I've seen this 5 times this week, and I cannot
remember. Yeah.
Cannot remember the names. So the guys with the yellow are the good guys, and the guys in the red are the bad guys. And this is a funeral procession for a boss, for the yellows, and it was after the reds actually killed him, and they go into this place, and Jack is kind of stomped. What is this? And Wang goes, "Oh, it's a Chinese standoff." And I was like, what the hell is a Chinese standoff? So 2 factions of Chinese people standing off.
I don't know if that was supposed to be just telling Jack like this is like a Mexican standoff, but it's Chinese.
Yeah,
because they actually just had melee weapons at that point. This is right before they started deciding like, well, everyone had melee weapons, and then all of a sudden someone pulls out a Tommy gun and just starts shooting, and then someone has an AK-47, and they all have massive firearms. They kill a wave of each other's men, and then all of a sudden they're like, no, wait, we still have melee weapons. Now it's actually fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Which made no sense to me.
And at this point, we have it's the whole street is going like nutsoid. It's like you have the whites and the yellows and the reds. They're going at it. They're going like destroy shops and all that stuff. And at that point, the storms come into play.
Yeah.
So they
translated. It's rain, thunder, and lightning.
Rain, thunder, and lightning. Yeah. What do they represent at this point besides just being badasses? They're minions of Lopan. They're basically the if you want to think of it as like I like to think of this movie as basically the forerunner of every kind of like Double Dragon-esque kind of fighter ever. These are the guys you fight before you fight the big boss. Like Streets of Rage or sort of like the mini bosses. So each one of them has like their own. This is the part where they have their own weapons, and that's the most ridiculous part. Is Lightning has these like forks,
little swirly blades.
The swirly blades, and this shot is amazing because you can definitely tell it's a ring that has these
a little motor
spinning thing, and there's a line. You can't see it, but I know behind the finger there's a line goes into his sleeve, and it's so fucking fun. He's just standing there, like this.
What's funny too is that the only one that actually has weapons that they utilize later is Thunder, because even Lightning in this one isn't known for the spinny disc thing, and Rain is known for using swords, but he has those like
the claw
batons things here, but he's known for using swords later, so it's kind of odd.
It's sort of like a mishmash thing. it kind of tells you at this point that, oh, okay, this is like a low budget movie. maybe they just didn't think it through, like from start to finish. And it's very indicative to these movies, because if we could stop for a second on like going through the movie, this movie didn't do well when it came out. No. I think I looked at the numbers. The budget was like 8 million, something like that, and it grossed maybe 16.
Yeah,
ish.
Which technically it's still considered.
Technically, it's a good investment, but you have John Carpenter, John Carpenter and Kurt Russell, who were supposed to bring in more. So it's not a failure, but in terms of the studios, it is. Plus, it wasn't well received with critics when it came out.
No, not at all. But what's really odd is that the Asian American community, especially the Chinese community, absolutely loved the film, because this was really one of the first attempts of an American film to really make the cast mostly Asian. Like, yes, Jack Burton is really the protagonist of the film, but to be fair, he's a bumbling idiot 99% of the time. Wang Chi, on the other hand, his friend, is confident, he's reliable, he's dependable, and he gets things done.
And the entire, like, most of the Chinese-based cast are pretty much really good. Like, Eddie is pretty smart. Eddie, who falls in love with the reporter. Egg Shen is smart. Wang's uncle is pretty smart. They always have some sort of an insight on what's going on.
Correct, yeah.
And Jack is like the bumbling fool that is like sort of like the tool they use. But later on, it's like, why is he even there? What is he doing? Until he reached like the crescendo. You know why he's there, because of what's going on at the end. So at a certain point, the storms come in. They literally start destroying people, and Wang and Jack was like, okay, let's get the hell out of here.
Let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah, let's get the hell out of here. We're going in, and they drive through, a person.
So this is Lo Pan. This is our antagonist, the main antagonist of the whole film.
Okay. So they drive through him, and Wang says, I think it was Lo Pan. And Jack was like, what? Who? They literally go outside of the truck after they like ran through, and he turns around, and it's like the guy's up there, and he's looking at him, and he starts to like do a little magic, and Wang's like, don't look at it. And Kurt is like, I looked at it. I can't see anything. It's like, it just shows you how bumbling fool he is. So they go to Wang's, basically they go to Wang's restaurant.
Yeah.
And Jack is trying to get insurance because he hit a guy and he needs insurance. And
that he had to leave his truck there because they had to basically run away at that point. Because they were blocked off, and
he tries to get either money for getting to fix the truck, or
just get money to reimburse.
I just didn't understand what is he trying to get money for, and he's not getting it, of course.
So it's the same like in the States. If you have car insurance, your car gets stolen, they can reimburse you for the car if it's determined that it was actually stolen and they can't get recovered.
I like the fact that he's talking to her and say, "Oh, don't tell me it's an act of God, because when it's an act of God, there's no way the insurance system."
Force majeure is,
by the way, it's force majeure. I know it's just a way to we're cutting ties, and no, you're not getting any money. Get fucked.
Yep,
basically.
I love their having like he's having the whole diatribe with the phone, not too close where she could obviously hear what he's saying. And like, well, I ran over him. I ran through him. How the hell did he still run behind the truck?
Yeah. And basically at this point, like Wang and his uncle are discussing like old magic, and they're not actually filling him in. They're just
No.
talking about it,
No.
which is like odd. And at this point, we have
This is when Gracie Law shows up.
yeah,
right.
That's when Gracie Law shows up. It's like, have no fear, Gracie Law is here. It's like, and I like the fact that her name is Gracie Law. And it could be like low pen, so it's L-O. It could be Gracie L-O, or it could be Law L-A-O L-A-W, which is she's supposed to be a lawyer, right? She's not a reporter; she's a lawyer, and she's trying to help Chinese immigrants get a fresh start in America and like get out of persecution and all that stuff. So she's coming from doing like a noble cause, but. The funny thing is she enters the room. It's like, don't worry, Gracie Law is here. It's like, oh, okay. All right, Gracie, we get it. Anything to add at this point? Because she just fills them in. She just gives this scene is like mostly giving a little bit of information, just sort of developing the story and telling them where they took Miao Ying.
Yeah, and it's really showing Gracie why Gracie's there, because she saw that they were taken by the Lords of Death.
The Lords of Death.
And the fact that when they take people, they're being basically sold into prostitution. They're being humanly trafficked at that point. And that's the reason why Gracie's whole reason of being and why she still is fighting to that purpose, and why she was there in the first place was to bring that Chinese immigrant in to make sure that didn't happen to her. And unfortunately, they just grabbed the wrong girl. So
I think they're going to the House of the White Tiger. Right?
Yeah.
The House of the White, which is very like, I wouldn't call my brothel the White Tiger, but whatever. So the plan is Jack to infiltrate and
look like an absolute dweeb.
Oh wait, we've got a picture of it. Don't worry about it. It's like we'll send you to infiltrate, right? And you'll be like the most white guy ever, like the nerdy guy, but has a lot of money. So you can ask a special girl, a girl with green eyes.
Yeah.
So we have got a picture of this.
Yes, but when they were in the car, they were like, "Yeah, Jack's got this. It's fine." And then Kim Cattrall was like, "Yeah, he looks like an idiot."
It's not the first time where she goes like she tells him he's an idiot, he's dumb, and he's not defending himself. It's like he's doing whatever Jack needs to do to save the day, and that's it.
Well, at this point, Jack just wants his truck back. That's all he really wants. It's like, yeah, I saved the girl, that's fine, but I'm gonna get my truck back in the end. That's all I really care about. I'm gonna get my truck back. I'm gonna get my money, and then I'm gone.
Yeah, something like that. So he goes in, and so there is basically the Queen Bee. That's not her. She's not the madam.
No, she's kind of like a subservient person beneath her.
Yeah, she's like beneath her, but she knows what's what and what's going on. Sort of like the Alfred to the Batman or to the Bruce Wayne. But there's a front desk woman who's like, there are no Chinese girls with green eyes.
Yeah, the Chinese girls don't come with green eyes.
Yeah, like, so don't even ask. So he gets a girl that it's not Miao Ying, but he has to play the part, right? He has to play the part, but everything is like going on behind the scenes, and suddenly we have a very Ghostbustery scene there.
Yep.
Yeah. So here we go. Storms come in, and by the way, every time there's like low pan magic, it's mostly green. It's mostly green, as opposed to the purple, which is supposed to be the good thing. I don't know. We'll see.
Which is I find odd because a lot of with key auras in Well, this is more Japanese than Chinese, really. But
You
purple
mean
is
chi? Not ki. Chi.
depending
Chi
on which
aura.
interpretation. Yeah.
It's
But
Chinese. It's chi.
no, but in
Never
Japanese
mind.
in Japanese ki though, it's purple is actually a color that's denoted with that has evil connotations to it. So that's why I from my own personal background, that was like, why is the good guy using purple? That makes no sense why they should be using purple.
Well, the Chinese revere the jade dragon, which is green, which
Yeah.
is supposed to be good, not bad. But here, the green is used as a evil magic. It's very consistent throughout the movie, where Lopan's magic is green tinted. You have the green eyed girl that is the jade type deal. It's
The
kind of weird because
giant
the
green
jade,
dragon
yeah,
thing
the
at the
jade
end.
girl is supposed, yeah, the jade girl is supposed to be the good, but he has a bad magic, which is also green. It's kind of a, and there's plenty of inconsistencies in this movie.
Do you think it's
So
supposed to
we're
be an
good.
odd juxtaposition, or
Yeah.
was it just a kind of an error in the screenplay?
I have no idea. I think they just love the green stuff.
Just an
right?
interesting question to pose.
I love it that the storms come in and they just wreck the place. They
Yes.
absolutely wreck the place. So rain and thunder come in and they wreck the place. And lightning is the guy that literally holds the lightning, drops down, picks up Miao Ying, picks her up with one hand, and
I
he's
just
like,
have to say
"Okay."
one thing. I'm like that. Obviously, right? Lightning was a huge Metallica fan.
Ride them lightning.
You got the joke. All right.
Ride that lightning. And like,
And also the question is too, with the water and the fact that the lightning is shooting all over Mao Yin in that one scene, wouldn't she have been absolutely electrocuted and killed in that scene?
yeah,
I mean-
he's like, when he frees her, he's got the knife in one hand and he's holding her down. The hand that holds her down has all the lightning on
is
it.
just like shooting
And
through
she's
her
like,
body.
she was supposed to get shocked, but she doesn't act like she's getting shocked.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another inconsistency. So Jack tries to save the day. He like punches Rain, but nothing. And he punches him again, nothing. And Rain just annihilates him through a wall or something. And he gets like completely wiped out. And after the ordeal, they go back to the house, and Jack is out of it. And there's like so good of a line where he says, "Just tell me what's going on. I'm a reasonable man who just went through an unreasonable ordeal. Just tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
Just tell me." And they kind of half-assed tell him about Lopan at this point, but not the complete deal.
Yes.
It's not the complete deal yet. They don't explain to him why does he need the girl with the green eyes. There's no connection there. So Gracie Law is also unaware of this thing. But Wang says Lopan, and Gracie says David Lopan. You mean yeah? So the recluse guy that nobody has ever seen. So again, she's the instrument that kind of pushes the story along, because if she didn't say anything about David Lopan, Wang wouldn't have made any connection to that. So they wouldn't even know where to look if she didn't say that. So Gracie, again, not really contributing to anything good, but she is the one that actually pushes the story throughout this, because she gives little tidbits of information, right?
Yep. She is the catalyst that drives the story.
Yeah.
And more than on many occasions. I think this is like the second time she does it. She does it one more time, I believe. But
I think so. So Wang and Burton just go just go storming in. They just go storming in. They go into this.
The thing was, they go in as telephone operators.
Yeah.
He goes, oh well, Jack walks in with a telephone in hand, like that's supposed to be like, oh, these are my credentials. I'm holding a dial tone telephone.
We came to fix your whatever, and
Wei Chi is the one who's actually giving him the real reason why, like the supposed reason why they're there in Chinese, and giving the full excuse. Jack's just walking right forward.
Yeah. And they go into this warehouse, and they go into this like an elevator thing. And while that's happening, Egg Shen and Wang's uncle are in the restaurant talking to Gracie Law. So they get like a little introduction, and Egg Shen is the one that is basically not advancing the story, but gives us more of who is Lo Pan, what did he do, talks about the curse a little bit and all that, and you've got a very attentive Gracie Law listening. And there's a back and forth between Egg Shen and Wang's uncle. I don't remember his name, but it's Wang's uncle. And they just keep going back and forth, talking about the first emperor, talking about Lo Pan, talking about all that history. Now, you said before we started that you have a little bit of information about that. So please tell us, and then we'll go and do the first segment of tonight.
So the emperor that they're referring to is Qin Shi Huang. He was actually the first emperor to unify all of China. This was, I'm sure you've heard of like Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
I've heard about the different kingdoms of...
So that was actually the second version of the Warring States. This was the first version of the Warring States. So he beat the Yue, the Qi, the Zhou, and the Han to unify it under the Qin dynasty. So he was the one who actually who unified China in the first place. And he ruled from this is actually the numbers on here, 259 to 210 BC. And he was almost assassinated 5 times. He had multiple coups ran against him. But what he's known for is he was the one who actually brought unification to the Chinese, and he also actually was the first to do expansionism for the Chinese as well. They moved in slightly what is now Vietnam at the time.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's the first real little bit of information about him.
You said there's also. Was there also something about a curse in Lo Pan, or is it just complete myth?
No, it was just something to kind of tie him into a character to solidify Lo Pan and how old he actually is, because he would have to be at least at this point in time almost 2.5 centuries old. So I'm sorry, 2.5 millennia old.
There's a point in the story where Wang talks about 252 BC.
Yeah.
That is actually around about the time where it actually happened, and they just inserted a Lo Pan, which is a fictional character, into a real-time date.
Yes, unfortunately, he would have only been 7 at that point, so
okay.
I don't think it would have happened at that point, but they at least try to utilize some kind of history to give Lo Pan's that
some
backstory,
some credibility.
Kind of kind of credentials to it. So,
all right. So we are at our first segment of the night. We will see I don't know how to call it. We'll call it a no text poster quiz. Okay. This is my poster quiz from me to you. We'll have a series of 20 posters, same as last week. I will give you the poster, and you will tell me which movie it is. All the posters are the either the original artwork that went to like cinemas around the world to promote it, or the actual poster of the movie with the text wiped off, or before the text was added in. Yep. Okay, so it's original artwork. Mm-hmm. Let's go here and there, and we will go here.
Terminator.
Right. First to second.
The Terminator.
The Terminator.
That is I just lost it.
And if I don't see you, have a good morning, good evening, and good night.
Good night. Yeah, I know. It's the movie about the film that the guy who recorded his entire life.
The Truman Show.
Damn it. Usual Suspects.
It's a bit of a tricky one, I know.
Ooh.
Bit of a tricky one. There are like 4 posters that I've seen. This one is the only one without any text.
It's not Dune.
Not Dune.
Is that? It's not Buck Rogers. What is his name?
Not Buck Rogers.
No.
Not Lost in Space.
He's mentioned in Ted, but I can't remember.
No. Hint: Stanley Kubrick.
Is that supposed to be 2001: A Space Odyssey?
Yes, it is.
Really?
Yes, it is. That
Okay.
is an amazing
I
poster.
get Hal.
Yeah, you've got the big red dot. I thought that would give it away.
Okay. A Clockwork Orange.
Nice.
American History X.
Yes.
Good movie too. That's Apocalypse Now.
Yes.
That is Good Will Hunting.
Correct.
Is that Howl's Moving Castle?
Yes.
Yeah. Ooh. What? That's not Contact.
No.
Haven't the slightest.
Really?
Mm-mm.
All right.
Matthew McConaughey. I have not seen some.
He was
of the
also
ones.
in Contact, by the way.
Yeah.
You have seen this.
I have seen it.
Yes.
I really don't know.
Interstellar.
Oh, yeah, I saw it once and I didn't like it. That's yeah. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Correct.
Pulp Fiction, my favorite movie of all time.
Really?
Yes, love that film. Rain Man.
Nice. I think this is either
Reservoir Dogs.
This is the penultimate one or the last one. No, we've got a few more.
7.
Nice.
That's Some Like It Hot.
Yes, it is.
It's a good movie too. Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Correct.
The Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
This one was tricky, by the way.
Matrix.
Which one?
The Matrix. That's why am I just Silence of the Lambs? Why did I draw a blank there for half a second?
I don't know, but that was the last one. That was actually the last one.
Yeah.
Cool.
You're picking a lot of really good movies.
I know.
In this too.
The only problem is I'm going to be running out of good movies at a certain point.
Look, is it Kung Fu Panda 4?
No. We'll have Legally Blonde 2 first, and we'll have some like.
Wait, wasn't the tagline of that Red, White, and Blonde? Something
that I have no idea. Wait. Oh, Nuggies. Homemade. Nice. They are smelling delish. Where were we? Let me just throw this, throw that, get away from here, and get away from that. So our heroes went into David Lopan's place, basically, into an elevator, and the elevator starts filling up with water.
Can you do me a favor, Meth? Can you skip forward just for a little bit forward when you get to the scene where they're underwater still and they see the skeletons?
This one. or
Yeah.
just a little bit
Just like underwater still.
underwater. It's very hard to
Yeah.
do.
I figured it would be.
Let's just 10 seconds forward. No, that's like 10 seconds back, 30 seconds forward. It's a very,
It's like
very
right there.
short scene.
No,
Very
but the reason why I wanted to call attention to that.
let me have a second. Let me have a second. Okay.
Yeah.
Keep talking. I'll find it. Okay.
No, the reason why I wanted to bring it up because I was like, oh, I think Meth would like this reference because the first thing I thought of was, remember when back when they did data mining on TBC way back in the day, that reminded me of the hidden room in Karazhan.
Yes, the only room that you need to wall jump, be in a certain place, log out, log back in, so you'll be behind a wall, and then you can explore the underworld of Karazhan, where
wasn't that also called like the Sinner's Quarters too?
Oh, I don't remember.
Some of that, but they were hung upside down underwater like that, and I was like, that reminds me of Karazhan right off the bat.
I got you covered.
Yeah, yeah. I just remember, I was like, oh. I have to bring this up to Meffy because I know how much you love TBC. He's like, this reminds me of that hidden Karazhan room.
It did remind me as well. Don't trust me. It definitely crossed my mind. But not only that. This is actually the only scene where you can say this is like John Carpenter's element. He puts you in a very like the environment itself, like, causes the character to be in absolute panic. I mean, inside the water, getting like, fighting for your life, but also you can see what happens if you die.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a double. It's like a double panic moment. Let's call it that, double panic moment. And the music, it's also very much, in your face. Like horror movie music, right?
Yeah. Which Carpenter got from his days from, with John Carpenter making most of the music for the film. This kind of goes back to his, he made the music for Halloween and he directed Halloween. So he was very in his element when he made that scene.
Yes, that scene was very much bodies all over the place, and like you could tell it's a doll today, but the scene is like so super fast. The cuts are so super fast, and it's like getting your monster in your face. So immediately go like this in terms of when you're looking at the screen. Either you're looking at a big screen back in the day or at a TV screen. You go like, oh, that's not nice. So that's the whole point. It's making you queasy along with the character. So it's a very, very good scene. It's like I said, very John Carpenter-esque to put you in that position in terms of a viewer. And I like that because it's a very throwaway scene. So they call it the Hell of Drowning Sinners. Something like that.
Something like that.
The hell of upside down drowning, the upside down sinners, something like that. And it's like you said, it reminded me of Karazhan, which is raid in the Burning Crusade expansion in World of Warcraft, just if you didn't know. But they get captured, and they've basically been brought into Lopan.
Yep. And this is where you get the real big exposition dump from the villain.
Yes. That's where we get the full story, why Lopan needs that particular girl. And the moment, and it's super important, it's like Jack tells him, I'm just looking for my truck. I just need my truck. And he says to him, no, you don't need a truck. You're looking for a girl. Because he knows what they're actually looking for, even though Jack is pretty much delusional.
Yeah.
And actually does want his truck at this point.
And it also shows that the dichotomy between the two versions of Lopan. This is him in his tangible state, and how he is that decrepit old man who has been cursed with living forever, but he still ages. So that's why he's this disheveled.
It's still not his...
almost shambling corpse, but his intangible form is that 7-foot tall sorcerer that can't die.
Yeah, but he's still not corporeal, even though it is his like basic form. He's not actually corporeal. I'm guessing he can touch stuff, but not really.
Which he does later in a scene that I'm going to bring up because James Hong kills it in this scene with Kim Cattrall, and it's the funniest scene to me in the movie coming up later.
I think I know what you're talking about. So
they basically
anything to add here?
No, Lo Pan is basically just telling him the reason why he's doing what he's doing, and how once he marries the jade-eyed woman, then he can then kill her and sacrifice her to his god. He'll become human again, and then also immortal. That's the whole thing. That's his entire plan, really.
And throughout this scene, Jack Burton just doesn't buy it for some reason. He just doesn't get it or doesn't buy it. He's like talking to Wang or talking to David Lo Pan. He's like, dude, just give me my truck. We'll get out of your hair. Let's get out of here.
Well, like, just like, if you do that, but you're fucking crazy.
It's like, are you crazy or something? And he's like, it's sort of like no sells it at some point. It's like, what? It's like,
after all you've seen, can you believe a little bit in mysticism at this point? Like just a little bit?
What I want to say is throughout like 80% of the movie, every time Jack is like, what's going on? What is happening? What are you doing? Why is it like this? It's like completely oblivious up till like almost at the very end where everything kind of clicks.
Yeah.
But it clicks, but he's still him. He's still like the oblivious dude, but he's more, his conviction is kind of really strong at this at a later point. So they leave them there. And at this point, Gracie, the reporter, I don't remember her name, and Eddie go into David Lo Pan's place, and is it Thunder? Right, Thunder comes in to greet them, and they want in. They want to talk to David Lo Pan. And
it was Thunder. Yeah, it was Thunder. He was like, "Oh yeah, I'll show you right away."
So the main dude at the main guard at the front desk is like, nobody goes in. And then Thunder comes in, sort of like, oh, don't worry, we'll take you to Lo Pan. And they go inside the elevator where they drug them basically, and they take them prisoner, right? Mm-hmm. All of them. And Jack and Wang kind of stay in a dark room where Jack frees himself because nobody checked his boot. He kind of takes his chair, rocks it, breaks it. He's able to get his knife out and just frees himself.
And that knife is very important later.
Yeah, that knife is very important throughout the movie. There's a little conversation after they free themselves. Again, you get a little bit of a story at this point, right? So Wang kind of explains to him why is it so important that Lo Pan does not marry the girl, that this whole curse business is real, all that's like sort of like trying to get through to Jack. And yet Jack later on after this scene is still completely oblivious. Oh yeah, they try to free themselves. Yeah. And Jack is like this.
He ends up still stuck in a wheelchair, and then he
just falls off into the wheelchair, and there's like
the ramp, and he falls all the way down.
Not really a ramp, but the corridor goes like this. So he just falls into his chair, gives it a little nudge, and he just falls throughout this little well thing. He's able to free himself, and it's like, oh, it's all in the reflexes. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And at this point, he gets the iconic gun, which is, I don't know what it is. How is it called? I've seen people
It's an
refer to it as an Uzi. It's not an Uzi.
It's not an Uzi, but it is a submachine gun.
Yeah, but it fires like single shots. Yeah, at this point, it's like, oh, you give me this, I'll something like that.
Yeah.
Right. And they go out and they free the girls. But while that's happening, we have Lopan. There's a nice little scene where you see the transition there.
Yeah.
So he goes all glowy, and then his spirit, sort of the sorcerer spirit, comes out of the feeble old man, and he's like gliding through, and you can see today they would have done it way better.
Oh,
but
yeah, of course.
The like effects, it's basically splicing two films together. So he glides. Did he move the doors? No, right? He just moved into the doors.
He just moved through it.
I can't really play it, but he moved into the doors, right? And he's talking about Miao Yin and how he's going to marry her and he's going to sacrifice her, and it's a shame because he doesn't really want to sacrifice her.
Yep.
So it gives us a little bit of backstory, I guess.
And this is also kind of an explanation too why Mao Yin doesn't just run away or try to escape, because she's under his power. She can't run away. She's basically almost catatonic.
Yeah, at this point, yeah. And it's a bit of a difference, because later on we'll see it with Gracie. He has power over Gracie, but at a certain point it kind of wanes at certain points. But she always comes back. It's not because his power is not through what he's doing. It's also through the three minions, the storms. Right?
Yes, correct.
The storms do have a little bit of his weapon, his power, and one of the things is affecting the girls. We'll see it a little bit later. Right? Let me move over to I like this scene. They go off and find the girls in the cages. Here we go. So they go out and find this is a reporter. It's just I wanted to give you the picture. So there's a lot of girls there. Obviously, what's the reason? Because you would think you have girls in cages for some sort of for a brothel of some sort, but they actually broke into the White Tiger, so maybe they have their brothel somewhere. It's not explained, right?
Yeah.
They save all the girls there, but it's not really explained why are they there. I think Gracie says that the girl that she was trying to save had a similar fate to these girls, and that's why the reporter's there as well. One of the fight scenes we see is with the female guards, right? There's 4 female guards, and normally today you would not see guys hitting girls, but the girls here do kick ass.
Yes, and I think that was supposed to be the
point.
That was supposed to be kind of the juxtaposition too, in that where they viewed them as laughable. Jack did, because again, he's this macho bravado dude.
Yeah.
Like quintessential 80s kind of guy, where it's like, oh, these are just little ladies, they're not going to do anything to us, and then he gets hit.
Yeah, it gets hit
like,
hard.
Yeah.
No. He gets hit hard.
Yeah.
Right? But it's he sort of leaves Wang and Eddie to deal with it, and he goes out and just goes first. He goes to free Gracie, but she's like hogtied.
Yeah.
It's so weird. None of them gets hogtied. She is.
Yeah.
She's like feet and hands behind her back and the muzzle, everything. it's so weird. Why did they do it? It's like a choice, right?
Mhm.
Maybe John Carpenter is a sick individual. I have no
Well, I
idea.
think it was supposed to also
Probably
be a play on
is.
her character too, because she wouldn't shut up.
Yeah. And
That
the
was
funny
supposed to
part
be the
is,
thing.
I don't know if you catched it or not, until very, very late point in the rescue,
Mhm.
her mouth is closed.
Yeah.
I'm going to show it to you. This
Yep,
is,
she still has the
out of the
gag in her
cage.
mouth.
She's almost at the sewer, or what's supposed to be a sewer. So sort of a pool or something that they run through. And she's still with the muzzle. It's like, why?
Yeah.
There's no reason.
Yep.
There's no reason. Oh, of course, she gets rid of it as soon as they dive in. I don't think she ever takes it off when we can see it.
No, she just she shows up underwater in that one little tiny like air pocket where they all kind of bubble
Oh,
up.
wait.
Oh, it is off there.
Nah, never mind. You don't forget all the little details. But what made me funny was I remember here going towards the pool with the muzzle in. It's like, why?
Why? Yeah.
Yeah. There was no reason. So they go in, and they go in a certain order. But when when Gracie emerges and tries to look for Jack, the order was not the same, which was weird, but whatever. And
that was supposed to be played as a joke, where it's showing that she actually does care about Jack and doesn't think he's just an idiot.
Yeah, and the whole point is like she's like, "Where's Jack? Where's Jack?" And when he finally comes out, it's like, "Oh, thank God!" She hugs him, and he gives
Jack
her a
kisses
big
her.
kiss, and she goes, "Hey!" I was like, "What the fuck?"
Sorry, because caught in the moment.
Yeah, it's in the moment. That's fine. Don't worry about it. But yeah, that was kind of a comedic thing. Plus, wet Kim Cattrall is always good. Kim Cattrall. Wait. There's
Mrs.
a
Bath.
point.
Mrs. Bath.
She was here. She's not here anymore. Yeah, this point. Oh, it's so hard to get it. Oh, please. Oh, that's the best I can do. All right. So Jack.
Oh,
they go into those. They go back to where he was with Wang, where he came in as a phone service guy, right? And he goes in, and he talks to the people behind him. He's like, "Okay, everybody, be quiet, relax. The truck is just out. Like Egg Shen and the uncle are just outside. Let's just open the door and get the hell out of here." And
everybody be quiet and follow the leader.
Yeah.
Opens
the door, closes it. I think we might be trapped.
Because all of the opposing clan that we saw before, the one that is black and red, they're all right behind the door.
It's like, oh shit. So they have to go back through the main hall, through the guard desk, and we'll move it along. Oh, there we go. That's the point where I wanted to do. This is the absolute unnecessary weird part of the movie, right? This is the start of it. So you see the eyes right now, they're literally there. They go down and you see someone's eyes moving, but they're yellow and red. And what Jack says, well, I'm going to be at the front. Gracie, you take the back. So Gracie stays last. Everybody goes in. This part opens up a little bit, and Gracie's like surprised, and she gets grabbed by this monster.
Oh, the orangutan monster.
The orangutan monster is the most unnecessary, stupid, and
which is the odd thing is that there is a monster that comes up later that is adequately explained the reason why it exists. When we get to the scene, we'll talk about it. But this one is never mentioned why the hell it exists. They mentioned the fact that if the balance between when Wang Xing's uncle and they're talking about how if the balance is if good and evil are not aligned correctly, then things, if they're too evil, then there are demons. Then that could be an explanation as to why, because Lopan's winning at that point. But there's no explanation of why this creature exists or why it's there at all.
Yeah, that's the only thing, and it comes like at the end. We see a little part at the end, which is like sort of like some movies open like close everything, but they open up a little sliver of the door open, maybe for a sequel, but never came because
it's still technically a pre-production hell right now. Apparently they tried to get The Rock to play Jack Burton in a sequel.
Really?
Yeah, in 2015.
No.
Yeah.
No, he's so not right for the point. For the part.
He's not.
He's good with comedy, but he's not.
No,
not Kurt. Sorry.
No.
So the gang run away. Right, the gang run away. All the guards come in and shoot the bus. That's the most ridiculous thing of all. It's like the entire armada of the guards, like regular guards, not the clan, come in with
security
automatic
guards.
weapons.
Yeah.
The security guards come in with automatic weapons, completely destroy the bus. Everybody's alive.
Yeah.
I mean, Egg Shen is a magical being, or is a sorcerer of sorts, but damn, that's a great bulletproof shield. So Gracie gets picked up by this ghoulish looking
this is the monster that we were referring to. That makes no sense.
And clearly he's a minion of Lopan, because he brings her to Lopan and the storms, and we have an interaction between Lopan and the storms. So
the storms, originally when they see her, they realize, oh, she has green eyes, and Thunder is standing. They're like, this is perfect.
Yeah. So they call Lopan. This is not the scene with Lopan, right? So he comes in a bit later.
It should be right here.
Yeah. He does come in.
This scene. This is my favorite scene of James Hong at his comedic best in this movie as Lopan. It is so funny because he's openly mocking her, and then he's like, "Oh, she's got a little fire." And then he literally reaches his hand down next to her chest and goes, he's and right next to her face.
He's like trying to do. I don't know. He was trying to tickle. He didn't try to tickle her breast or anything because it was right here, right?
Here, yeah. And then he moves his hand
up. He goes up to the mouth,
and she tries to fight. He goes, "Oh!"
Like, she goes like,
he starts laughing. It's so funny. It's hilarious.
He's like, he finds it enjoyable that she's treating him this way, and this is one of the scenes where either the way she did her eyebrows or something, it's something with the eyes. It's not that they're green, it's the shape of the eyes. You could go like, well, maybe she has like a Chinese ancestry or something.
Yeah. She does have more almond-shaped eyes. That is true.
Yeah, but the story didn't specify a Chinese girl with green eyes, just a girl with green eyes. Yep. But you're meant to think, well, she's Chinese. Maybe he needs a Chinese. But it doesn't say Chinese, green-eyed Chinese girl. It's just more rare to have that. Obviously, of course, right? But yeah, that's a small little scene where you have. It's comedic, but it's serious. And it's funny because
you could just tell that James Hong was just loving hamming it up as this villain because
so we're back at the restaurant. Everything is like kerplunked, and we have Egg Shen coming in. Well, it's time to go, and there's a beautiful bit where Jack is like, again, being the oblivious guy, he tries to talk to Egg Shen, and the guys behind him is like, are those your reinforcements? Who are they? And he's like, do you even understand me?
It was
And the guy on the left is like,
Yeah.
yeah, we understand you. What the fuck?
Yeah, we speak English.
We speak English, dude. It's like, we know we're Chinese, but we speak English. Like,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to come to Jack as a surprise, because Wang is also like that. He speaks perfect English, right?
Yeah.
And they just tell him the plan, that they have to go in, but they can't go in through the normal way, have to go through the back way. And Jack is like, what are you talking? What is this? What are you talking about? What is going on? Again and again and again. It's so funny. It's like we're an hour. It's an hour and 35 minutes, basically, of the movie. And he's oblivious through an hour and 20 of it. No, that's a bit later. Yeah, Jack is like, okay, we're ready to go. We're sharpening the knife. Everything's ready. It's all a part of the plan. They have sort of a back and forth with Wang. They have a back and forth with the reporter, who also wants to come, but he tells her, you have to stay back.
You have to stay with Eddie.
Because Eddie
likes you.
Yeah, Eddie has a crush on you, so you need to stay with Eddie, right? And it's like, you're show it, don't tell it. Like, what are you talking about? But it's such a short movie. It's such a short movie. They have to push it forward, right? Yeah. So they're gonna. Oh, okay. We got this pair, and this pair, right? So the reporter with Eddie. We've got Wang and Miao Ying. We've got Jack and Gracie Law. Just so we know what's going on, right? Let's go. Everybody's paired up. Hold. We'll go with this. I need to find it. There's a scene with Gracie and the sorcerer Lopan, where he basically says, well, now that I have two of you, I can do I can appease my God with sacrifice.
So I can marry you both, I can kill you, and then I can keep Mao Yin alive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she's shocked, but she also doesn't do anything because he still has that power. He still has that power that he has over Miao Ying and over Gracie, but not as powerful. That's why he probably wants to sacrifice her, because with Miao Ying, he'll have a more docile wife. That's like his head. I'm interpreting what his head is working on. So he would prefer the more docile woman to marry, and the more fiery woman to have her way with her and just discard her because she's inappropriate and not supposed to.
And really fulfill his terms of the bargain with his God. Make him immortal. Yeah. Yeah.
And he there's a great look at the makeup that they did for him in his eyes. It's very distinct. And again, James Hong, although he is Chinese, not very, not super oriental. His face is, but his eyes are not. But here with the makeup, they did him very much to the part, what you would expect. The mustache is very, very particular. It's very, very to the times. Along with the headrest, by the way, which we haven't talked about. It's weird. The shape of it is very to the time, along with the crown and the Chinese markings, but the spike is not. The spike is totally with not. Now, that's
a tightening.
It is
to keep it actually in place. Yeah, that was actually well, what's odd is at the time they didn't actually have that. That is actually more reminiscent of the of what they call the second Warring States period, the one that's really famous. They mentioned in Romance Three Kingdoms or like that. Like leaders like Zhuge Liang, they had that kind of headpiece. And what it was is how it's clasped in the back is it's tightened and then it's held in place with pins, like how women have like hair.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a male type device to tighten it. Oh, maybe I'm wrong.
It's considered more of like it's a ceremonial kind of garb that was more restricted toward like advisors and spiritual leaders, which would make sense for him because he's a sorcerer.
Yeah. And they go into Egg Shen's place. And of course, Jack is like, what the fuck is this dump? Why everything is dirty? Yeah. And Wang is like, dude, you know what? The stuff that in this vial is priceless.
Yeah. Maybe to the eyes of the West, but to us, it's priceless.
Yes, to us, it's priceless. You understand? It's Chinese medicine, blah blah blah, Chinese sorcery or whatever. But you're meant to think that, okay, relax. This you have to revere this. Mm-hmm. And Egg Shen is like suiting up and everything, and they go into these tunnels. There it is. So he has the little flask of drinks, the 6 demon bag, and a modern flashlight. Which is like, all right, I get it. So the old Chinese remedy and medicine and sorcery, and the new modern stuff, because why not use it? They go down there, and this is where we've got like a split, because it goes into this scene and also the not really the wedding preparation, but the test of the burning blade to see if the girls are actually ready. So we have this part, which has a little bit of a comedic but also creepy vibe, and the other part, which is also weird because let me just quickly show it. This part,
yes,
where on one side you have the storm, on the other side you have Lo Pan, and he's standing right underneath the burning blade, which is not really a blade, sort of a globe. We'll see it in a bit. Mm-hmm. But they're like doing these katas, maybe
they're doing katas basically.
They're doing basically a kata,
which is what we mentioned before, is that again, Thunder is the only one that's actually using the weapon that he had before, which is showing him right there. You can see in the back, you can see on that would be stage right, the one with the longer hair.
Yeah, right.
He has his swords on his back, when before he had the bookend with the claws on the tips.
Yeah, but the thing is, his swords have a use not only for the kata, but for having maybe that's the burning blade where they
so that's supposed to be, so he's supposed to be when he puts his swords up and they both grab them. So this was supposed to be I don't think Lo Pan's his whole grand scheme of things to even put them through the test, the burning blade, it required the 3 storms to be there, because the thunder was the one who was bringing forth that, and then the rain came in, and then the lightning came in, and that's why the swords glow when they're both holding onto them, and they both go upward toward the light.
I'm trying to get to it, because I have to go through it goes to that scene and back to the bog, and then back to this, and then back to the bog. And every time you get a little bit of information, and then hear a little bit of information. So I'll show it. So he gives them the swords, and they hold it, and they glow, and they start to go upwards. Either pushed on one side by Lo Pan, and the other side by Lightning. They push them up, right? He's pushing them up and into, I'm not sure if I can have it, but they both touch. It's so hard to grab the exact point, but this is after this is it.
Yeah.
So they both touch it with their fingers, and there's like a little thing that glows again with green eyes, and they're both, I guess, alive. They both survived the test. and they're both worthy. So Lopan is obviously happy. So we can proceed. And in the meantime, in the bog below, there we go. There's a funny scene where he asks Egg Shen, what is that? Because they see like this bubbling water, and Egg Shen is like, this is the black blood of the earth. And Jack's like, oh, it's oil. No, it's the black blood of the earth. And no more explanation. Like,
that's it.
Zero explanation.
Well, and as we mentioned, the orangutan monster, this is also that sequence of scenes is where they have that one odd snake,
I'm gonna show it to
eel
you.
thing pop out and then go away. And they're like, what
Yeah,
the hell was that? And like, it won't come back out again. Jack's like, what won't come back out again?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Jack is speaking on our behalf because like we don't even know what the hell this is. What is it?
Exactly. I can't really reach that particular point, but it's basically about there. So they go through a bend and there's a hole, and you can see first you see them talking, and the hole is very pronounced, and then you see this very plasticky puppet, like you can definitely see it's a puppet, and it actually eats one of the guys, and Egg Shen is like, boom, and it's like, oh yeah, it won't come out again. And Jack is still oblivious. He is so oblivious. Let's go there. All right. Okay, so oh yeah, I found it. Never mind. So we were, like I said before, because Gracie has a little bit of fire in her, she can break for a time Lopan's spell, right? So at this point, they're both ready they're already dressed for the wedding, and Gracie is like snapped out of it. And she tries to snap out Miao Yin, but she doesn't have time, right? But this is like a little scene to tell us that Gracie sort of, not really, but sort of can break the spell. But they come in, and I think it was thunder. One of the storms come in.
I think it was lightning that came in, and then they
lightning, and they flipped their eyes white. Yeah. Which is weird because after that, I tried to do that myself. I couldn't do it. When I was a kid, I tried to do it. I know how to do it now, but I tried to do it myself. I knew I would. It's possible to do. It's very painful, by the way.
Oh, roll their eyes back? No, they just actually had them wear white contacts.
No, yeah, I know. For the movie, they had white contacts, but for me, I thought they rolled their eyes back.
Oh yeah, it was like doing the Undertaker thing where he could roll his eyes back. Yeah,
it's I tried it. I can do it. It's very painful. It's very, very painful. So I like this part where they actually go into Lopan's like pantry and they dive in, and that is the most, I don't know, for me, it's the most Chinese thing ever. It's cured fish.
Yeah, it's all dried fish. Yeah,
it's salted dry fish. It's very, very Chinese because, you know, I don't ask me how I know, but I know. But they nailed this part, and the thing is, the guys they were with start eating it, right? They start eating it, and Jack is like, what the fuck is this smell? What is this thing? Why am I here? Why is this? And this is where they meet the eye, right?
It should be right now.
No, Egg-Shen just shows them the elixir. They don't drink it yet. He shows them the elixir. He says, don't worry about this. Don't worry. We've got a secret weapon. It's like, what are you talking about? No, don't worry. We've got a secret weapon.
Is that an elixir? And he just goes, yeah. Is that supposed to make us stronger? Yeah. And that's the end of the conversation.
Yeah. And they don't even explain. And this is what this set is the epitome of it. You cannot do this in any other decade. This is straight up 80s.
So fucking 80s. And the thing is, when I first saw this as a kid, you know, the first thing I thought was,
That's amazing.
No, He-Man.
Yes.
That's Castle
Yes.
Grayskull.
That's Castle Grayskull. That is Castle Grayskull, dude. Yes.
Kid
Thank
from the
you for
80s.
reminding
So
me.
yeah, that was
Thank
like,
you for
yep.
reminding me. Yeah, this is Castle Grayskull. Exactly. But it's very, oh man. It's not only the skull that has the green. That is okay. It's the red and blue neon on the sides of the railing. That is quintessential 80s.
And no, and they actually have the figures in
Yes.
neon as well on the side, where it's just
Yes.
like, oh, come on. Really?
Yes, exactly. They go into the ceremony, and while they have the ceremony,
This
we
is
have
where
this.
it is.
This is where it is. This is for me, as a D&D player, this is a beholder.
I know. That's what I thought of. Even
It's
as a
a
kid, I'm like,
beholder.
wait, I know that's from Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, that's a beholder, right? One of the most powerful beings in Dungeons and Dragons, at least to my knowledge.
Yeah.
And
Except for this one, just has eyes everywhere. The beholders simply have like a gaping like maw where they.
yeah, exactly. This one is a lot more cute, I would say. It's a very cute beholder, but it doesn't serve as a function of a beholder, because a beholder is a very powerful sorcery being, right? A very magical, strong being. And at this point, this is more like, if we go back to the start of the podcast where we talked about World of Warcraft, this is more of a Eye of Kilrog, an extension of Lopan, sort of a scout.
I think it's like his CCTV essentially.
Yeah, but he can also
speak
speak through it as well. And so he's like, "Ooh, it's Egg Shen. Egg Shen is coming. But you're too late." And
Meth, I do have to say this really stupid joke. You said it was cute. I guess beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Ba-dum-bum. I need a boom boom.
Get a rim shot
on my stream deck. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, and at a certain point, it was like Jack is so fed up with the conversation, he just takes his gun and shoots at it, and Egg Shen is looking at it. He's not saying anything, but Jack is like, "Well, I had to try."
It's just like, well, you never know.
Yeah, you never know. I had to try. You know, well, you didn't do anything. Let me do something. So there's there's a point where the Eye of Kilrog. Come on. There we go. So he got hit here. It didn't kill him. So he sends his tongue to lick it, but the tongue is mostly eye at the end. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Who did the puppetry? Is it Hansen? I didn't check.
So
I didn't check, but at the time,
because I
think Hansen, the Hansen company.
No, I don't think it was Hansen. I think it was the same puppetry crew that did all the work on The Thing. Which I know
it could be.
Because I don't know the name of their.
We can actually check. Who did the puppetry in Little China? Interesting. It doesn't say. It goes into a big, long Wikipedia article. So, yeah, it doesn't say who it is, but you would think it's Hansen, but not really. It could be an independent company. You can check it now while we...
Let me check.
So we get to this scene. Yeah, the elixir scene. Where they're going to barge into Lopan's party. They know he's got full deck. They've got the clansmen there. They've got the three storms there, and they've got Lopan. But Egg Shen is like, don't worry. Like I said, I've got the elixir. this is the time where we drink it. And he explains to them what it does. It lets you see what no one else can see, and it lets you do what nobody else can do. Yeah. And excuse me. I like this scene. Wait. Yeah, we're gonna start with this. So Jack is holding the cup, and it's like, again, what the hell is this egg? And he tells him, "Look, this is what makes you stronger, harder."
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's really interesting.
Do we have an answer?
Yes, it was done by Boss Film Studios, who also did the work on Ghostbusters.
Nice.
So, yeah.
You know what would have surprised me? That you would have said Geiger did this.
Oh, H.R. Geiger.
H.R. Geiger. I was hoping he would, but yeah, you know. So there's a point here where they toast and they give it a little speech. Now,
yes,
you being an American, you tell me, where does this speech come from? Because I know it comes from somewhere. Is it like an Army thing, a Marines thing, a Navy thing?
No, it's actually just a toast to veterans. That's what it's really known for. It's not really known for any particular portion of the military. I did find it funny that how Jack is this bumbling idiot, but as soon as you mention any kind of form of patriotism, he goes.
He snaps into like,
I am in.
Yeah, he's in the part.
This isn't about defeating an evil Chinese sorcerer who is 2.5 millennia old. No, this is about saving America.
First of all, that's super Reagan. That's mega Reaganism, because that's it. But also, what was weird, the fact that the guy who initiated it wasn't actually Jack. It was Wang, who is an immigrant.
Yeah.
But he's immigrant, that is, he is assimilated into America. He wants to be a part of the culture, and a part of the culture is being proud of being an American. Yes, I know it's very Reaganism, very, very, very much 80s at the time, but it's like as soon as he says that, Jack is in the moment, he's in, and he completes this well-known toast. It's like he ends it with the wings of liberty may never lose a feather. Yeah. So it's so nice. It kind of resets everything, and he's like, okay, up to this now, we've gone through the information. Now it's time for action. So as soon as they say that speech, we know it's like, okay, third scene time. Let's go. It's action time. Let's move forward. So we have the.
I do have to just bring up the elevator scene because that's another one of my favorite.
Oh yeah.
Little segments in the film because in itself it encapsulates just how silly and funny this movie is supposed to be.
Yeah,
like you know what? I'm starting to feel good. I'm not even scared anymore.
Exactly.
And they're all looking around like, yeah. They're all giving each other that sign to each other, like, yeah. Feeling good.
Yeah, this.
And then also Jack just goes, is it getting hot in here?
Or is it just me? and it's sort of you get this moment, like I said, you get this moment, and we know from here we have like total action. And we have this little scene where they like, oh, feel pretty good. It's so good. It's so good. And I bet you this scene or this little snippet is what the critics didn't really like. It's like, why is this there?
Why is this in there? Yeah.
It's not
This isn't a comedy. It's not a Mel Brooks film.
Yeah, if you took this scene out of the movie, the outcome of the movie, the what's going on in the movie didn't really change, right? We already know they drank the elixir. They came in and they go full on Super Saiyan badass. And this scene just doesn't belong, yet it is so goddamn funny. And you can tell the guy who plays Egg Shen is cracking the fuck up. He is cracking up. Even though he just have a good facade, you can tell. I bet you could tell. It's one of those scenes, by the way, in today's movies, that is a throwaway scene. You would never get that in a modern movie.
Well, it depends on, like, a lot of comedies have those really kind of odd little awkward scenes put into them, or they did really more like that's more reminiscent of like early 2000s movies, the comedies like Anchorman and Wedding Crashers and Old School, where they have some little kind of little odd one-off scenes that make absolutely no sense in context of the rest of it, where it's superfluous for the sake of it, but some of those scenes are the most memorable in those movies. So
but you could remove them from the movie, and it was like
completely
it would stay the same.
Yeah.
It's the same. So we have the wedding and the needle of love.
Yes.
Which is so stupid.
What you did there, I see it.
Yeah, exactly. And he kind of inserts it not here, but kind of here,
like on the side of her
it's
forearm.
not at the wrist, which would be my choice, because it's more if you think about like acupuncture and such sort of thing, this is a pressure point, this is a pressure point, this is a pressure point, so we'd think this is a good point, but no, he goes into here, which is odd. It's just odd for me.
It was, in a way, it was kind of like a mic check. So if you think about it, if you want to do a mic check, you don't want to blow out your mic when you're screaming into it. So he's just like, see if this works.
Yeah, exactly.
It's working.
So I've skipped past it because it's very hard to pinpoint the exact point. So they go in from the main hall into this hall, and they look at everything, and what they say is like, don't we have to let him finish the ceremony. He'll become human, and then we can kill him, because now we can't really kill him because he's in a spirit, sort of a half spirit form, so an immortal form. But what they didn't realize is that the beholder is on the floor and he's looking at them, which kind of kills the element of surprise. And that's where it's like comedy gold. So he kills the thing, and Lopan is sending his forces against those guys. So they give like a war cry and they jump in. So this is Wang giving his war cry.
Jax.
Wait, it's very hard to grab the exact point. I can't really do that. So Jack is like, he's like firing in the sky. He's at the doorway, so he blasts like a little hole, and all the stones come on top of him, and he becomes completely relevant to this part of the fight, right? Because Jack can't hang with either of the clans, nor can he hang with the Storms, right? You know he can't, right? So
that
there's
his efficacy in combat comes up a little bit later. Is Wang encounters Rain, the one with the swords, and they end up dueling.
Yeah, the duel and the duel on the ground. They also duel in the sky. So they do these massive jumps, one across and then one together, where they fight and they like lean on the side. They like fight on the sides, and it's so super awkward, yet it works. I don't know, but it works.
But in the interim, Jack does eventually end up waking up, and the first thing he encounters is one of the armored soldiers that
Yes,
kind of led them to
I'm trying to get to that
the
part.
wedding procession.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the weapon because he lost it or something. Oh yeah, no. Thunder steals his weapon and literally smashes it into pieces, and Jack is like, I don't know what to do, and you see the armored thing come to him, and he barely takes his knife out. He actually takes it out, and then he puts it into his boot as sort of a weapon, and he leans back, and the thing just goes into him. You'll see it in a second. And the guard dies, but he dies on top of Jack. So Jack is basically stuck. And again, he is irrelevant to the combat.
Yep.
Which is odd because you would expect the hero to be saving the day, but everybody else was saving the day.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Lopan has become mortal, and they retreat, but not before we have the Egg Shen Lopan kind of
the duel of the mystics.
The duel of the mystics. I'm going to show the mystic part. So we have Lopan with his avatar and Egg Shen with his avatar kind of fighting. And again, you see Egg Shen has the purple aura as his magic, and you have Lopan with his green aura, sorcery or magic or whatever. And these two fight to a sort of a stalemate. But what I wanted to show is super weird because I've seen it somewhere else, and it made me laugh so hard. Let me mute the thing. I'll mute it, and I'll get you the exact point I want to go.
Okay.
So, wait. So I can't really show it to you, but yeah, he activates. But Egg Shen, when he holds his jewel, right? He holds it in sort of this way,
mm-hmm.
and he sends magic like this. And Lopan, he's got like this. Now I've heard somebody else talk about it, and you could tell whoever saw this as a kid had to go and went to work for Microsoft, and this is why the Xbox is the Xbox. It's green.
Really?
It's green. Huh. It's X. And he holds the controller
like that.
Right? I know it's stupid. It's a joke. It's not really. It's not really a real story. But this is like Egg Shen and Lopan is. They're actually playing Street Fighter, basically.
It only would have been better if Egg Shen's aura was blue. So it would have been PlayStation versus Xbox.
That would be hilarious. That would be extra hilarious. But Egg Shen is Egg Shen is mostly holding stuff not like a control, but Lopan is actually doing like a controller thing. You can see his thumbs moving like this. And it made me I didn't think about it at the time. When I saw somebody else talk about it, it's like, oh my God, that's so goddamn funny.
And again, this is another scene where James Hong just absolutely kills it. And you can just tell too, he's having a ball playing this character.
Yeah, he not only does he move his thumbs, his entire face moves, his cheeks, his eyes, his mouth moves. Along with the beard, but the beard moves because he moves his mustache, his upper lip, everything. He is into this, right? He is an actor, right? I love this part, and it's again a very throwaway scene, but it's so good. So we basically have Lopan and Egg Shen coming to a sort of a stalemate.
Standstill.
But Lopan realizes he is corporeal, so they see that it's kind of a lose situation where they kind of lose all the clansmen, all the dispensable army. So the storms are left and
Is this
Lopan is left, and
also-
they facilitate his escape.
Didn't Wang Chi kill Rain at that point?
Yeah, Wang kills Rain. Like Rain goes into like this onslaught attack, and Wang is
throws
like
his sword
turning
up.
around and like throws his sword, which gets stuck into Rain, and Rain dies.
Yeah.
In a blast of glory. So we have thunder and lightning kind of facilitate Lopan's escape, and he takes Miao Ying with him, but not Gracie Law. So there's a point where we have the monster coming back.
Yeah. Again,
I'm trying to get, this part. It's really hard to get to this part, but I'll show it on screen. So we Jack kind of knows that there's an elevator there. I don't know how he knows, but he knows.
That was the elevator they came down from when they took the 16 back.
So he takes Gracie and he goes after Lopan. But there's the monster in the elevator, and Gracie kind of kicks his balls. That's how they escape. She kicks the monster's balls, and they just run away. And they go into the elevator. This is a good point. Before the kiss, she's like, "Do you have a gun?" And he's like, "I have this knife."
I have a knife.
Like, are you a knife? What would that do? It's like, don't
he's
worry.
7 feet tall. He goes, "Don't worry. I see things I couldn't see before, and I'm more than I was before." And then it's like,
he like quotes Egg Shen. So
is it actually working though? Because all of a sudden she's just like, "Oh my god, I'm into this. Whatever you are now, Jack, I am into it."
Now you have to remember, this is 80s makeup. That's very important. She gives him a big wet kiss, and the red lipstick stays, which makes the last part so funny.
And he has it all over his top teeth too.
Exactly.
All
it's
over
like
his teeth.
everything. I'm gonna show it in a bit. Because they face basically Thunder and Lopan, and Lopan's like tells Thunder, just get rid of him, just kill him, right? And it's so hard to grab with the teeth. So Jack has no fucks given, comes in.
Yep.
You know what Jack Burton always says, and Lopan is like, "Who?" And he says, "Jack Burton, me." With the lipstick on his face. And you can't, as a viewer, you can't take this guy seriously because lipstick on his face. It's so good. It's just,
and that's right when Wang Chi comes in too. And
Wang comes in. So they are facing,
to hell with it, and they start fighting Thunder.
Yeah, they're facing Thunder. But at a certain point, Thunder goes after Wang. And it leaves Jack, Miao Ying, and Lopan. And Gracie's on the side. So here's where Thunder just destroys that room trying to chase Wang.
All I could think of is the old Hanna-Barbera and like Scooby-Doo cartoons where they're chasing from hallway to hallway, because that's what this is.
And
he's running after him.
Yeah, and all you see is framed. It's framed because they can go side to side with this, but all you see is the door. So all you see is the frame, and like stuff gets thrown in, and like dishes and vases and all that, just to create action that you don't actually see, which is super funny. Let me just kill this so we can get to the. It's sort of the last sequence. Not the last sequence, but the kill sequence, which is just right before this, actually. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what happened is we have that knife where we saw throughout the movie, sort of the gun that kind of comes to play at the last scene, but it's a knife. So Jack throws it at Lopan, and
It
he
misses
completely misses him, and it's like hits a gong or a statue or something like that, and it falls on the floor. And of course, you can see Lo Pan has none of the makeup that he had during the ceremony, which indicates that he is corporeal. You could see more of the reddish tint in his face, which before it was it's like a white makeup, so it's very goth, I would say, but very death thing. He picks up the knife and he's like,
This is a
goodbye,
fine
Miss.
knife.
Yeah,
Goodbye,
this is a good
Mr.
night.
Burton.
Goodbye, Mr. Burton. He throws. Burton catches it, throws it into the head of it, like skull first. Like the hardest part is like here, and he's like chucks it. Lo Pan is dead. The entire statue room crumbles because the magic leaves the room, and all is well in the world of Jack Burton, right? It's all in the reflexes. And why? Because we said it throughout the movie. Yeah.
And he's shown it multiple times. Yeah, that's his whole bit. So.
And this is where like Wang, you can see the Wang and Thunder keep going at it. At a certain point, Wang leaves the room, and Thunder leaves that room with him. But he realized that Lo Pan is dead, so he gets super angry, and he huffs and he puffs and he blows himself up, which that I wanted to bring up. I don't know if that made sense technically. Was that supposed to be his fault as a character? If he got too angry, then he would self-destruct, or what? Because he seemed pretty much in control in every other set of circumstances. Was it just because Lo Pan died and he got so angry he couldn't help himself from blowing up? Or in my mind, in my view of this, he's like he's supposed to be the minion, right? Or the underling at this point. And the fact that he was supposed to keep the boss alive and the boss is dead, it's his failure. So he is committing suicide?
Suicide, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. And he's committing suicide because you can see it throughout the movie. It's his name is Thunder, but he's always doing wind things. So it's more like he's filling with air, which is wind, and he blows himself up. Now, when he blows himself, they run away, and he blows himself off, but he just goes into pieces, not actually explosions, right?
And I remember watching this for, I don't know, the fourth or fifth time when I was a kid in the 90s, thinking, let's say it reminds me of like a Mortal Kombat fatality from like the early Mortal Kombats.
Yeah,
just because how they would blow up, but they would just be chunks and pieces. And that's it. There would be no like viscera or anything. It'd just be like skeleton.
Oh, by the way, speaking of Raiden.
Yes, lightning.
Yeah, lightning. Lightning comes after them, and Egg Shen is like saving them with this crossbow gun that actually is a sort of a lift,
grappling hook.
A grappling hook with a like whatever.
It's like retractable,
cool.
but it has
it's sort of a Batman-y thing. It's sort of a thing, which is unreal because you can't really carry anything with it. And lightning kind of disrupts that. But it doesn't matter because Egg Shen just pushes a statue on top of him. And
statue the Buddha on top of him. He just blows up.
He just blows up, and that's it. From all three storms, the stupidest death is this death. I think.
Yeah.
I think this even more stupid than blowing himself up.
He should have been done before because it showed before he could literally ride lightning. So why didn't he just grab on lightning and go whoop?
Yeah,
and not even try to climb up. So
I know it's the most stupid death.
Yeah.
But whatever. Basically, they run away. They get into the truck. They actually find the truck, and the funny little bit there is like he goes in. He's like, "Fuck! I don't have my keys." It's like, "Don't you have spares?"
Here's his.
Oh yeah, it's under the seat. It's like, are you kidding me?
Come on, Jack. Get your shit together. Come on.
I like it that he's like, he takes it out. It's like, I've got it. No, you idiot. You idiot. It's just these points where I'm so happy it's Kurt Russell, but it could have been an early Bruce Willis if Bruce Willis was a tad younger.
Yes.
It could have been Bruce, because Bruce Willis, when he started, like David Edison in Moonlighting, was a wisecrack.
Yes.
And Kurt Russell is a wisecrack.
Which, thank you for calling that out, because not a lot of people know about that series. That's a great series, too.
Moonlighting? Yeah. David Edison. By the way, Hudson Hawk and David Edison are practically the same character. The more wisecrack, the early season David Edison, I would say. The later seasons, he becomes a bit more serious. But that's beside the point.
Well, that's also when... That was right before Sybil Shepherd kind of went off the rails, too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's... it's two things. She went off the rails IRL, and the show went more into the romantic side of the relationship, and it kind of killed it.
Yeah.
Kind of killed it. Because the whole point is that he's the wisecracker, and oh, never mind. That's a different podcast altogether.
That's a review for Moonlighting, everyone.
Yeah. I don't really want to, because I don't actually like the show that much. I like Bruce Willis in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this little scene is like, you fucking idiot. And that is basically it. Wang pays him triple or nothing. Or sorry, nothing or triple.
And he goes, well, so it was only double. He goes, triple, you've earned it. And he goes, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. And
Gracie wants to go with him.
Yeah, and she said, will you settle down? He's like, I'll never settle down. Well, alternatively, you can get a truck with a place for me to stay. Nice little apartment
in the back. And well, I inevitably end up rubbing everyone the wrong way, so I think it's time for me to get going, but maybe somewhere down the road.
Yeah, somewhere down the road. And it's like, you have to... This is where I like this ending, because Jack Burton stays Jack Burton.
Yeah.
He doesn't change because there's a romantic thing. Because you have a good ending, but not satisfying in terms of pairing up everybody. Because Eddie gets the girl, Wang gets the girl, but Jack doesn't get the girl because it's just wasn't meant to be. Yeah. Besides, Jack is very individual. And Gracie is very so they're both really strong-willed characters, and if you put them together, doesn't actually work in actual
it would have never worked.
Life. No. It would have never worked. So Jack kind of you know what? It's gonna be my fault. I'm gonna rub you the wrong way. You're gonna dislike me. I'm just gonna save us both this, and I'm gonna move on, which is actually the correct decision.
Which oddly enough, it's the smartest move that he made in the entire film. Yeah.
So all we get as a nice little wrap up, because it started off with the CBA radio and Jack in the truck in a like a rainy. It wasn't rainy when he started, right? Let me just check. It was a rainy. It was a rainy night. It was a dark and stormy night.
Yep.
So we see Jack back in the truck, dark and stormy night, raining, and back on the horn, talking to the ether, right? And we get the last little snippet before we get credits is that weird. Oh, we get this shot is awesome.
You get a shot of the Pork Chop Express.
Pork Chop Express, because throughout the movie, you see the door like opening and closing every once in a while, and you see like little slivers of it, but you don't see the full logo. This logo is amazing. I'm sure.
Well, and you know
after this, a lot of people got this tattoo.
Oh yeah. Well, do you know also too why it's called the Pork Chop Express?
Because he hauled bacon.
Yeah, he hauled pigs. That's what.
Yeah, he hauled pigs. So it's the Pork Chop Express.
But it was like it's very morbid in its own way. It's funny, but it's morbid.
Maybe a little bit. And so we get this little snippet where you can see the monster claws and end scene and movie and nothing. So this is like the little tease of the sequel, or maybe not, or there's a continuation of Jack Burton somewhere somehow, right? Which is something that they did a lot in early movies. Not only the 80s, they did that in the 70s as well, without having a sequel afterwards.
Yes.
I don't remember exactly each and every movie, but I know that they did that every once in a while.
What film company is now the most egregious when it comes to committing that sin, though?
I do not.
Disney. Disney is awful with it now.
Really?
Especially even the live adaptations they're doing, they have these little caveats where they're like, "Oh, this is setting everything up for a sequel." A friend of mine just actually went and saw Cruella, and it's like, "Yep, they tried to set it up for a sequel already." Like,
really? Oh,
okay.
All right.
Try to milk that cash cow as much as you can.
Because the movie is kind of short. We've already been through 2 hours. I can't believe it.
Again.
Wow.
Really?
We should have stopped. We should have stopped way before for this segment. We have two segments to finish off the podcast, I guess. 2 segments to finish off the podcast. The first one is a fun one. Well, they're both fun. No, we are here. All right.
Yes.
This is where we take 2 movies, pit them together, and see which one is the better one. Now, it could be any movie from any time, any genre against any movie, anytime, any genre. We'll do a few of these pairs, and we'll end up with the last bit. So, Romeo and Juliet with Leonardo DiCaprio versus Kindergarten Cop.
It's not a tumor, but it is Kindergarten Cop.
It is definitely Kindergarten Cop. Best Arnold Schwarzenegger comedy? No, Twins is better. Sorry, Twins is better.
Twins is better.
No Country for Old Men. Coen Brothers.
No
and the Nutty.
Don't even. No.
Yeah, Coen Brothers.
We're not even.
I know. It's not even a discussion.
Ooh.
Sixth Sense versus The Holy Grail. Arguably M. Night Shyamalan's best movie.
Best film. Yeah.
And Monty Python's best movie, arguably.
I have to go Monty Python.
For me, even though I quite liked the twist, I didn't know anything at the time.
Yeah.
When I went to watch Sixth Sense, I didn't know what was going on, and the surprise was a surprise for me too.
Yeah.
Worked for me as well.
Yes.
But you can't beat nostalgia. It's really hard, and it's a really good movie. The Slap, 1974, and Jurassic Park. I have not seen The Slap though.
The Slap is it's a commentary, a social commentary film. They did
It's a French film, I believe.
Yes,
right?
They did a revision of it on American television, which was not good either. But definitely Jurassic Park. It's too iconic at this point.
Can I confess? I hate Jurassic Park.
Really?
I hate all the Jurassic Parks. I've seen them.
That's fair.
I can appreciate them.
Yeah.
But for me, Jurassic Park is like Michael Jordan. I can appreciate the greatness. I hate the team and the player.
Oh, so you hate the Bulls?
I hate the Bulls. Wasn't a Bulls fan at the time. Nor am I now. Dead Poet Society and High Fidelity. We're going deep.
You know how much I love High Fidelity. This is, I think, this was on our first episode.
I know.
I have to go with High Fidelity. I know Dead Poet Society is amazing.
I would go with Dead Poet Society.
I think that's going to have to be a hard 50-50 split on that one.
This is exactly why we need a third person for this.
Yeah. Do
We
you
have to have
coin?
an arbiter. I do not. I do have a coin.
Just heads or tails.
That's heads. That's tails. Let's spin this bitch. It's actually a bottle opener. It's what do you call? Oh, you didn't call it.
Well, just heads, tails.
Heads
high fidelity.
is high
Tails,
fidelity.
Dead Poets.
It's heads.
Heads.
High fidelity it is. Kind of weird. Should have done that. I should have done that with a coin. All right. Mask or Catch Me If You Can. Mask is really, really good. I would still prefer to watch my favorite DiCaprio, my only favorite DiCaprio movie.
Catch Me If You Can, because Tom Hanks is amazing in that film too.
Yeah.
Very underrated Tom Hanks.
Final Destination 2, that's a horror movie?
Yep.
And Original Mission Impossible.
Original Mission Impossible, because it actually reinvigorated the franchise.
Yeah, for me too. Clockwork Orange, Apollo 13. For me,
Clockwork
hands
Orange.
down, Clockwork Orange, masterpiece.
Yep. One of Kubrick's best.
Yep. Okay.
Ooh,
So
that's a good one. That's a really good one.
Lethal Weapon, iconic buddy cop movie. Air Force One, at the time, was a really good, innovative action movie that they took from John Grisham. Is it a John Grisham book?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
It's not a John Grisham book. No. I'm confusing something else.
Are we thinking of like The Firm?
I'm thinking about not The Firm, the other ones.
The Client?
Not The Client.
Because The Client, because that is a John Grisham.
No.
But
There's a movie where Harrison Ford is the main guy. He's a CIA guy. He has a name. Later on, Ben Affleck took the role as the same guy. I don't remember the name. Never mind. Clear and Present Danger.
Oh,
Is that a John Grisham book?
I am not certain. I'm not that.
Never mind.
Grisham,
So,
but
Air Force
anyway.
One, Lethal Weapon. Air Force One, an iconic 90s action movie. Really done really well. Holds up till today. Lethal Weapon also holds up till today.
I have to go with Lethal Weapon because it
Are
still has.
Are we too old for this shit?
Yeah, because I'm going to say there are lines in Lethal Weapon that people still repeat today, and it's become an idiom now.
That's actually true.
Well, we're going to go Lost Ark. Yeah.
Because
Ooh, that's a really good one.
That's a good pairing. That's a good
Which
pairing.
is the better children's film that has adults kind of in mind still?
I would say for me, even though I love Robin Williams, I would go with Shrek. Any other Shrek movie would not have held up against Hook.
Yes.
Shrek did a serious movie with a lot of references to other movies, but they did it in a very subtle ways. One of the things that you have to realize, Shrek is DreamWorks. It's not Disney.
Oh yeah, I know. It's all Spielberg.
But they've taken all the Disney characters and made them a little bit different, so they're allowed because it's basically a Grimm's Grimm's tale, right?
Yeah.
But they've taken elements from Disney. One of the elements that they took from Disney is when Fiona is going off to take breakfast, she sings. The birds are bluebirds, right? That's a reference to a scene from Snow White, the original first animated film from Disney, and done at a very comedic way.
Because she hits that high note and the bird tries to
the
sing,
birds
hits the same note and explodes. Yeah,
and she's left with eggs to bring for breakfast.
I do have to say that even though
I would go with Shrek.
Bangarang for life, but still Shrek. Yeah.
Original Mad Max versus Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. That will be our last one because the podcast is really long.
Yes. I have to give it to probably Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, just because it reinvigorated a lot of the Hong Kong martial arts scene at the time. Mad Max is a fantastic film, but I guarantee you, anyone's like, I love the Road Warrior. I love the new Mad Max. Like, I love Fury Road. Like, have you seen the original? No.
Yeah, I've seen the original. Mad Max, or at least the legacy of Mad Max, is mostly built on Fury Road, which is the second of the two. The first one,
Oh, you mean Road Warrior?
Road War. Fury Road is
Fury Road was the most recent one. With Charlize
okay.
Theron. Yeah.
The second Mad Max with Mel Gibson was the more iconic one.
Yep.
The first one, not very good.
Mm-hmm.
Very innovative for the time, not very good. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. That would be our last one. Before the last segment, anything about Big Trouble in Little China that you want to discuss?
I would just like to say,
very
if anyone
shortly, if you have any notes that you put in.
No, just no notes. Just one last little caveat here. I just want to just put a little note there. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's so much fun. It's just a fun movie. It's 95 minutes that you're not going to regret. You're just going to laugh, and you're going to be like, wow, you know what? I turned my brain off for an hour and a half. The world's terrible out there right now. Watch a fun movie. Have a few laughs. Thank me later.
Yeah, and another thing that I've seen somewhere, someone discussed it, was it's a stupid movie. It is a stupid movie. If you don't take it seriously, you just go out and have some fun. Like you said, turn off your brain. Again, turn off your brain is stupid, right? Just a fun little flick that basically gained a cult following.
Yep.
Like many other like bad movies or B movies at certain points in our lives, from 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and onwards, right? You could find these little gems here and there, mostly in the 80s, but you know,
like a big one, like Rocky Horror Picture Show. That's
that's 79, 77, 79,
78, 79, something like that.
Somewhere in late 70s. Yeah. And it was, if you watch it today and don't have any context for that movie, it's very stupid. It's very weird. Very artsy movie, I would say. All right. So the last bit is, we try to do this every week, and I try.
You leave Jack Burton alone.
Nope.
No. Why did it start from the middle? Go away. All right. So every podcast we have the short version of the movie, and today it is Big Trouble in Little China. And enjoy.
Okay, here we go. The short version.
You leave Jack Burton alone. It's all on the reflexes. Nothing or double, Jack. Can I ask you a serious question? Absolutely not. It's all in the reflexes. Welcome to Egg Shen's tour bus. What's happening, Wang? Chinese standoff. I think it was low pan. Don't look, Jack. Don't panic. It's just me, Gracie Law. Boy, it sure is raining cats and dogs. I'm a reasonable guy, but I experience some very unreasonable things. Miss Gracie Law. Miss Egg Shan. Hell of the upside down sinners. Where are we, Wang? We are not looking for a truck. We're looking for a girl. Are you crazy? Is that your problem? Are we going up or down? No horse shit, Jack. First time you ever plugged somebody? Hey! Sorry, I'm thrilled to be alive. We may be trapped. Where's Gracie? This one has fire. Come on, let's go. The girl who can tame the burning blade. The black blood of the earth. Do you mean oil? Only a dream can kill a dream. Please, what is that? Don't tell me. The 6 demon bag. Terrific. May the wings of liberty never lose a feather. The needle of love. Ha ha! Peasant magic. I hope you have a gun. I can see things no one else can see. You know what Jack Burton always says? Goodbye, Mr. Burton. It's all in the reflexes. My truck! Don't you have a spare? Here, Jack. Nothing or triple. No horse shit. I can take it.
Done with love and respect for the movie. If you could tell, I did it a little bit faster than last time. I know. Last week I didn't do it. I owe you. But I just TBC, man.
No, it's fine. I
Fucking
understand.
TBC.
I understand.
The addiction runs wild in my brain. All right, my good friend. So, for you audience out there, we have discussed the next movie we're going to watch, and it is Original Alien, 1979, right? 77? 79. Now I'm confused. See? 79. We'll say 79. Ridley Scott, masterpiece? Horror masterpiece?
Yes, I believe it's the best in the franchise. People think Aliens is.
People
I think
think
Alien is better.
Aliens, which is the second one, is arguably it's both. But we are going to watch Alien, the first movie of the franchise. Go get it, watch it. Come back to us next week. We will try to break it down in less than an hour and a half.
Yeah,
Maybe. We'll try to break it down.
you need to get this brevity thing down, Meth. We're really bad at it.
Oh my god, it's so bad. Anyways, if the Mrs. Meth will be here, I bet you she won't cook nuggies next week, especially not after we treated her. But please come back to us next week, and hopefully we will all enjoy ourselves. From me, Mephisto, and from Oh My Feelings, Mr. Kyle, we bid you farewell, goodbye, and have a good time.